Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. And, we were looking at the dollar Mexican peso, and I just want to point something out really quick. This time of day, over the last few days, we've seen just really big sell-offs going into the fix, when London wraps up. And you'll notice, or you could actually say it's when North America, comes in, you start to see a sell-off. And if you look at every trading session around these times, so I'm gonna just highlight them really quick. Okay, 1600 hours, right? 1600 hours. 1600 hours. You guys see the pattern here? Pretty interesting, right? Like every session, when London goes home or North America comes in, we see this sell-off around those times. And I think you got to be observant of that. Obviously, because if you're long, like I am, you can take a little bit of profits at that point once it spikes up. Or if you think that we're going higher, which I do, you want to be buying down, at those dips, as we approach support. And I think that that's how you have to think about this dollar Mexican peso until or unless it breaks higher. Because once it breaks higher, then this pattern that you see here will probably change. Same thing with if we break down too. So it's something that I've noticed the last few days. I'm like, man, right around this time, we see this move, and then it just kind of dissipates. And it's probably very similar to stocks in North America. They go up every day. It seems like they start the day stronger. Even here we are Monday. I know it's Martin Luther King holiday. But futures are stronger. Stock futures are up right now. They were down earlier. So, it's probably just par for the course. But the market's been pretty quiet today, and we haven't had, I look at the euro. The euro's 10 pips away from where it was when I got up this morning, hours ago. Nothing happening here. We've seen a little bit of a recovery in the sterling. Okay, so you've seen the pound bounce. Which means that the euro sterling has gone down. The Aussie has come off to the lows a little bit, that channel support. The Kiwi, even though we're trying to break down, we are bouncing a little bit. But overall, the Kiwi staying pretty weak. The dollar Canadian, we ripped last night in Asia as the Keystone Pipeline news was being circulated. That Biden might cancel that pipeline. Anyway, so the dollar Canadians come off a little bit. So overall, the markets have been very quiet, as you would expect during Martin Luther King holiday, when it's a bank holiday and most U.S. markets are closed. But I just wanted to point that out regarding the dollar Mexican peso. Starting tonight, we should start seeing a little bit more activity. But just realize that the dollar index, it is a little stronger, and it looks like we're just consolidating before our next move higher. If I had to guess, we're probably doing some sort of flag pattern. In the dollar, it might look something like this. We might see the euro, maybe back at 121. Dollar index may pull back a little bit towards, the 90-60 level before rounding. But that's what that's the way it feels like to me. Catherine said or asked, Blake, if you have time, do you think you could take a look at the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona? I'm short because I think a short-term top is in. but it's just sitting here, and I'm wondering if I'm completely wrong. Well, I think you have to think of the US dollar, Norwegian krona a couple of different ways, Catherine. And for one, look at the euro. Okay, the euro has an AB equals CD to complete. And if you missed my comments with Paul Franco earlier this morning in the chat room, or midday for you, since you're in England, I actually think that the euro could make it down towards 1950, personally. So if that happens, then you have to think that the US dollar Norwegian krona is inverse, right? And here is the line in the sand. If you think that the US dollar Norwegian krona is going down, I would not risk more than today's highs. The reason why I say that is because this is previous support that should act as current resistance, and it did. Okay. So if it breaks above the 864, there's a good chance it can make a move to 880, which is this major downtrend line. Then if we break 880, then things, get a little bit more wicked from a squeeze point of view. Dimitri said that Norway completed an AB equals CD. Well, it may do that. It may have done that. Let's see. AB. It did. So that there's a lot of evidence here that says that is good resistance at 864. So what I would say is just don't risk above 865. You may be wrong. It may break higher, and then you got to watch crude oil too, by the way. It may break higher, but you can't control that. Only thing you can do is control your risk. And right now, you know where your risk is. I think it's super well defined in the krona. I think, 864. If it breaks above 864, gets to 865, we're probably going higher. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answered your question. And she said, "Thank you very much." You're welcome. All right. Gavin said, "Yep, selling." I don't know what Gavin's selling, but but good. I just missed your comment when it came in. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna say that it's a little slow here. We're probably, the S&P is probably getting close to resistance around the 37. I'm assuming in Asia we might make another 5 to 10 S&P point rally. But I expect resistance up here. So just take that into account with whatever you're doing. And Gavin said, he was talking about the dollar Mexican peso. Gotcha. All right. And gold's not moving. Copper's flat. VIX is obviously closed, or VIX is not trading. Any other currencies that really stood out to me, and nothing's really standing out. I do think that the New Zealand dollar does look pretty weak, and you can actually see that in the Aussie New Zealand, which is pushing up against the 618 retracement. If we start getting above 108 and change, that's going to strengthen continue to weaken the Kiwi. And then also one last cross rate I'll go over, since you guys may be long, and I know I'm long, is the Euro New Zealand. And I'm actually looking to add above 170. The thing that I'm a little worried about is that it's going to happen in Asia, and I don't know if I'll keep my order that I have out to add. I don't know if I'm going to keep that open going into Asia, but it's giving us that that bounce from the 127% confluence of this move, right? There's your 127% extension, 127% extension of this move. It was a big confluence. We did a false breakdown below that, and now we're rallying. So it looks extremely bullish from here. All right, guys. Hey, have a great one. Thank you all for your continued support. I wish it wasn't such a slow day, but it's a holiday. There are holidays. It's part of it. So Excuse me. You guys have a great evening and great afternoon for those of you in North America. Great evening for those of you in Asia and Europe. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning on the Face webinar. Thanks everybody for your continued support. We really appreciate you.